Welcome to Bloomington Today. I'm Lori Schulte. Thanks for joining us. First, we're bringing the buzz for the week of February 14th to the 20th. And we're starting off overlooking 494 and 35W, one of the most congested, unsafe intersections in the state. Officials have been trying to secure funding to improve it for years. And this year might be the year they pull it off. The 494-35W interchange was first built in the 50s, when it only saw about 200,000 vehicles per day. Now, this roadway sees about 500,000 vehicles each day, and the area around it has developed substantially. About a fifth of all metro jobs are along the 494 corridor. That's why Public Works Director Karl Keel recently presented to the Bloomington Chamber of Commerce. He says the total price to redo the interchange is $250 to $300 million, but the first phase would cost about $85 million, a price Keel thinks they might be able to secure funding for in a few ways. One would be through the state's Corridors of Commerce program. The project has been submitted, and city officials should hear by April if this project gets chosen. Another possibility? A change in plans for the new 35W bridge being built over the Mississippi River. That project was slated for 2020, but funding was found elsewhere, moving the construction up to this summer. That means there may be a funding opportunity in 2020.
And thanks to folks like you and to many other people in the community, this project has long received a great deal of support from the community. And so I think it's very much on the radar of MnDOT and the governor's office. And so I think we're kind of cautiously optimistic, or at least this is a time in history where I think we have our best chance of funding of this project.
Now to Portland Avenue, where a study was taking place to improve safety and operations. Part of that process resulted in the light at East 82nd Street and Portland Avenue being shut down so the county could monitor whether it's needed. The light was installed back in the 70s and is nearing the end of its usable life. But before replacing the signals, a traffic signal warrant study showed traffic patterns have changed since the light was installed. That's why Hennepin County decided to turn off the signal for 90 days to further determine if it can be removed as part of the upcoming Hennepin County overlay project on Portland Avenue. Traffic data was collected before the signal was turned off and will be collected during the shutdown. That data will help engineers determine if the traffic signal will be removed with the upcoming construction on this roadway. The resurfacing project this summer on Portland Avenue will include converting the roadway from the 4 lanes that are there now to a 3-lane cross section with 1 lane in each direction, a center turn lane, and bike lanes. Back at City Hall, the Human Rights Commission recently hosted Erica Armstrong Dunbar, an author who wrote about the 18th century slave Ona Judge. The historian visited Bloomington to tell employees and community members more about Ona's story. About 15 years ago, Erica came across a runaway slave advertisement in an old newspaper. It was calling for the capture of President George Washington's slave, Ona Judge. After seeing the ad, Erica was drawn to Ona's story, and after years of research, she published her book, Never Caught: The Washington's Pursuit of Their Runaway Slave, Ona Judge.
Ona Judge was someone I hadn't heard about, and I was an historian. I was someone who was trained, and trained specifically in African American women's history. So I think her story and the fact that she was somewhat unknown reminds us that there are millions of stories of everyday people and regular people who don't find their way into textbooks. And it's really the job of historians like myself to share their experiences, because it helps us understand the kind of arc of American history.
Erica spoke at 2 events at Civic Plaza in mid-February. It was a way for the Human Rights Commission to honor Black History Month, an important time for all Americans.
I think it's a moment in which we ask all Americans to think about the contributions of people of African descent in an effort to correct what we know as American history. I think history books already are starting to look different than even when I was in high school, or definitely when my parents were in high school. It's a very, very slow change, but one that must happen. because the reality is that the building of the nation of the United States of America did not happen just because by or for white people. It did not. And so we have to find a way to include, and I think we're doing the work now, of including people of color and thinking about religion and race and gender. All of those things must be inserted in order to have a more balanced, correct American history.
Erica's book, Never Caught, is available at both Barnes & Noble and Amazon. Finally, it's not too late to protect yourself from the flu. The vaccine is still available at Bloomington Public Health. You can get a flu shot the first and third Tuesday of each month between 3:15 and 5:15 at Bloomington Public Health. No appointment is necessary. You can also swing in weekdays from 11:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Just call 952-563-8900 and speak to a nurse. No one will be turned away for lack of insurance, but if you have an insurance card, bring it. Everyone 6 months and older should get the flu vaccine. Children under 18 years old must have a parent or guardian present. That is the Buzz on Bloomington today for the week of February 14th to the 20th. If you would like to watch other stories from the show, go to this week's playlist. There you'll find a video outlining what to expect for this year's curbside cleanup program. You'll also find an important message from the Bloomington Police Department about what to do if you break down on the road. Check those out, and thanks for watching.